In today's video, we're taking a look at Canva's presentation sidebar so that you can master Canva to its utmost potential. I'll go through everything, including design, elements, text, brand, uploads, tools, projects, apps, magic media, audio, bulk create, and even some third-party apps if it's not Canva native. Let's jump in. Depending on which design you use will determine the sidebar that you're going to see. For example, if you are in a Google Doc, you'll see most of what the presentation slides have to offer. But you'll have design, you'll have elements, you'll have uploads, you'll have projects. If you go into a whiteboard, you'll have a lot of these same features. The reason for that, and this is new for 2025 because of Canva Create, what they've done is now allow you to use multiple different designs in one design. So for example, if I have Google Sheets open, I can now add a page and it'll add in a Google Sheet. But if I click this drop-down menu, I can now choose which type of design I want. So if I want to have a presentation slide in here, I can have a design slide and a presentation slide. If you took a look at Canva last year, number one, Sheets wouldn't have existed. But number two, this would have looked a lot differently. So that's why going from Sheets to Docs to whiteboards to presentations now look very, very similar. You'll notice some things are different. If you're in a presentation slide, you're going to have a text box over here, where if you're in a Google Doc, you won't, but you will in Google Sheets. So it really just depends. I'm going to go over the presentation layout, although they are very, very similar in what you use. And again, from any one of these, whiteboard, document, or presentation, you are now going to have this multi-design tool that you will be able to add in whatever you'd like. So if I wanted to have a presentation and a video at the same time, I can do so and I'll still have this same sidebar. So to get started, I'm going to go to my home screen. I'm just going to click on presentation and you'll see it automatically opens up with the designs, because the easiest way to make a Canva presentation is modifying one that's already made. So these are the ones that I've already used. As you can see, I have a zoo one, I have one for trivia night, I have one for Thanksgiving and Halloween. But you can choose any of these designs, and once you do, let's say I choose this animal names one, I can then choose any of these layouts, click into it, and it will automatically populate your page. Let's go into design, and instead of a zoo, maybe I wanted to do a movie night. I've done an example of this before in my full Canva tutorial, so make sure you take a look at the card up there. This one actually has all of the slides, and if you apply all 10 pages, it'll give you all 10 pages of the history project. Again, these are examples, which is why everything's in Latin. But let's go back. Control Z. If you don't know, Control Z undoes. Control Y redos. You can also do Control Shift Z apparently. What's awesome about Canva is when you have this presentation, every one of these things is editable. For the most part, like if you click into this bird, it's not going to have you change the colors at all. But if you click into this monkey, for example, you will be able to change some things about the monkey. You can change the color and you can change the vine color, it seems like. But if you click into this lion, for example, you can't. So it really just depends on the graphic that you have. But you can also click into this text box. You can change the colors, you can change the text, font, you can change the size. So that's why designs are super easy if you know what you're trying to make. If you want to start from scratch, go to Elements. And the Elements tab is exactly what it sounds like. It lets you add elements to your design. So let's say I wanted to make that movie night. I can come over here and I can add a photo of my movie night. The photos, however, some things are editable. The majority of it is not, unless you go to the edit tool and you choose something from Magic Studio. I have a tutorial on Magic Studio, so if you want to go take a look at that, make sure you click up at the cards again, and it'll go through everything that Magic Studio has to offer, and it's updated for 2025. If I want to just grab a graphic though, most graphics have these colors that you can edit. So I can edit the soda can. If I click up here, I can edit the popcorn box. But for example, I won't be able to edit the film reel color. So it really just depends on what you choose, but you can add any one of your features. So I have this as your movie night. Let's say I want a starry sky because I want it to be in the backyard. So I can add in a starry sky and I can set the image to the background, and now I have this. And then I need a title. So we'll get to text in a minute, but then I can add a title. But for that title, maybe I just want a purple box. So I can choose a purple graphic, resize it to however I want, and now this is my box. I can edit it from there. So that is the element section. I can add an arrow if I wanted to, and all I have to do is click on it. If I have this background, I can just remove the background. And if you're new to this channel, I am a teacher, so I do have Canva Premium or Canva Pro, whatever they call it. So some features for you might not be available, and I have the EDU plan. So that's why if some things aren't available to you, but you see me use it, that's why. You can actually design this entire thing yourself, even with the Pro tools. It's just when you go to share it or export it, it might not work. That's the only caveat. And that is the Elements tab. When you have all of your elements, now you can come down here and you can add in your text. Let's go back. I did want to use this zoo as an example. So let's say I didn't want this text box over here. I'm going to go now to text. So that was design. Then we just did elements. Now I can go to text. If I have a brand style or if I have a brand like colors, this is where it'll be shown. I do not. So that's why this is empty. You can now add page numbers. So if you have a presentation, you can add page numbers. Or if you're trying to make like a book of some sort on Canva, you can add it that way. I do not, so I'm going to get rid of that. But I can add a heading. So if I'm creating a title, I can just click on add heading. It will automatically default to Canva Sans, I guess instead of Comic Sans. But you can click on this and it'll show you all of the fonts that it has. I love using Anton. I don't know why. I just like that heading, or just like that font rather. You can change the color, everything like that. Just like Google Docs or Microsoft Word, depending on how old you are. But what's also cool is if you have text in here, you can then add effects. So the text in my YouTube thumbnails, I usually add a white outline with black text or black outline with white text, depending. So I can add an outline, but I can also lift it so it looks like there's a shadow to it. I can add an actual shadow and offset it. So I can do that all with the effects tab. If I'm using a presentation or if I'm doing a presentation, I can have an effect. So when it comes into the screen and I come and present, I have this as the heading. That's just some of the things that you can do with your text. Definitely mess around with it. You can change the alignment. You can change the transparency, everything like that. I did briefly touch on brand. I don't have brand colors, but this is where you would add it. So if you had your own company or if you had a specific style that you wanted to use, the same colors that you wanted to use, this is where you would add it. And for the text elements, this is where you can just add in your colors and it'll design your text based on those colors. So I am going to kind of skip over this, but you can do fonts, you can change your voice, you can change your photos, add in the things that make your company you, or you, Joe Goldberg, and you can add them here. If you have your own graphics that define you, like your own logos and things like that, you can add it here. If you're creating a presentation for a business, you have charts that you want to add. You can add chart styles and things along those lines. But now you have uploads. So if I click on uploads, I have all of these uploads that I have brought into Canva, whether they're pictures of myself, whether they are things that I have downloaded from Canva just to re-upload to repurpose it. I have, this one was from the last video I created. Got Will Smith eating spaghetti over here. But you can also, from here, record yourself and it will automatically upload it. So if I click on record myself, I can record a talking head, I can record a voiceover, or I can generate AI because AI is in everything now. And it'll also just segment your stuff. So if you want just videos that you've uploaded, if you want just audio recordings, and if you have created folders for specific things, if I had a folder for all of my videos of myself, I can come over here, check them off, and then create a new folder, or I can move it to a folder. So I can do it that way. And you can also upload from different websites. So if you have something from Instagram, you can connect your Instagram, your Facebook, your Shopify, your HubSpot, everything along those lines. You can add in like an integration to add it from here so that you don't have to go to Instagram every time. And I can connect it. I won't because I don't want to share my personal info, but it would pop up to Canva without having to go into Instagram download them and do it that way. Makes it very easy. Going down from uploads, you have your tools. So if you were to do a presentation, you can come over here and you can select different things. You can draw. So if I wanted to write the word elephant on here and with my beautiful handwriting and a capital L, I could do it that way. I can erase it. But I also have shapes. So if you're learning shapes, I can just add a shape in right here. If I have a sticky note, kind of like a Jamboard. So you can actually assign things now. If you have an educator plan and you're set up with your school, you can assign things now so everybody can be in one slide. So you can actually treat this almost like a Jamboard or Fig Jam, whatever they call it now. So everybody can grab a sticky note, for example, and write something that they learned, or name an animal on here, and everybody has their own, which is kind of cool. You can add tables. You can write elephant over here and then take a tally of whose favorite animal is an elephant. Let's say 5 people like that one, and then 2 people like the giraffe. And of course, you can edit the colors so that they pop and do all those kinds of things, make it more editable. And then you can just add your own text box from here. So that's the tools section. Makes it very easy to just add things on the fly, especially if you are presenting. Next, under tools, you have your project. So if you are in a team of people and you have one project that you're working on in a group, you can add them here. Now with the multi-design tool, it makes it a little easier and a little less use for projects. But if you have one project that you're going over and you just want to start, you can come over to the start section and you'd see all the things that you've started. So instead of going back to Canva Home, looking up your specific design, and then re-downloading it or re-uploading it, you have it right from here. Underneath your projects, you have your apps. We're going to skip over that for now. We are going to come back to that. That's going to be the last thing we do because this is where your third-party applications are going to be. Things that are not quite Canva native, but you might want to use, like an image upscaler, for example. If you have a low-quality image of something, you can upscale it using one of these tools. Here you have Magic Media, so this is like your AI-generated pictures. And they actually just included videos as well. It even says that it's new and experimental. So this is basically your AI hub for images and videos and graphics. So if there's not something in here that you want, so if there's an arrow that you want to look at, but it's not in here, you can come over here to Magic Media, and I want a graphic of a red arrow, and I click generate. The more descriptive you are, the better your outcome is going to be, like usual. That's for all AI content. And again, I wasn't very specific, so this is what it came up with. Not the best at all, but almost the worst. But it's getting better every day. Hopefully. I have not used Magic Media in a while. There's definitely better websites that do the same thing. Under Magic Media, though, is your audio. So this is where you are going to record your voiceover. This is where you'll see popular music. So I won't be able to play any of it because this is YouTube, but this is where if you're not doing something for YouTube, if you're creating a compilation or like a montage and you want to or a collage and you want to have Jason Derulo playing in the background, this is where you'll find that. However, you can also add sound effects. So you can add a button switch. You can add a spaceship. You can add a whoosh. And this is where you would add those. You can also add instrumentals. And then here you have the free slide and I have the education slide because I'm an educator. If you didn't have the education slide, I'm not sure if this will pop up. And like I don't have pro and pro isn't popping up for me. So this is might be where that comes up as well. But that's the audio slide. So this is where you add them. And when you do add them, you'll now see a new bar that pops up that has your audio to it. So when you present, this is what it's going to sound like. If I want this song to play for longer than 5 seconds, as you can see, it goes all the way down here. I'm going to have to add more slides. And the more slides I add, the longer the song will play. And you can change the duration up here. So it says edit timing. I can edit the timing to be the entire, actually, I can only do it for a maximum of 30 seconds, it seems like. And I can put this to 13.5 seconds. And then this one, I want it to be 18.5 seconds. So then when I play the whole thing, now you can see that it's a total of 32 seconds. The bulk create So here's one I did a million years ago. What I did is I had all these slides about psychology and other things like that. So what I can do is I can copy the slides. I can come back over here and I can do enter data manually. And when I go in, I can make this one topic and I can make this heading 1. And then since I have 2 headings, I can make this heading 2. I can come over here and just copy and paste. And when I click done, what I can do now is I can come over and create 3 text boxes, name these topic 1 and 2. And now that I have this, now I can link this to or connect it to topic, connect it to part 1, connect it to part 2. And then when I have all these parts connected, I can click continue and it'll generate the designs for me. So this, you might have seen it on social media. I tried it probably about 3-4 years ago at this point. It was not for me. Each one of these is what was linked to the initial data point. So that's how bulk create works. You just connect it to different points and it will automatically populate inside of Canva, bulk creating multiple slides. What you can also do is that if you're a teacher, if you're trying to create awards for your class, you can pre-download or you can customize a award sheet and just change the student names. So I can put student name in the title, and then when I click on bulk create, I'll have all of the names that I will input. So I can put in Sally, Johnny, James, Juniper, whatever their names are. I'll put them in here. And then when I'm done and I click bulk create, this is what you'll end up with. You'll end up with a whole bunch of different slides, each one with their names, but it's the same award. Charts is what it sounds like, so you can create different charts and label them, right? So bar charts, and you can edit it right from here. You can create a pie chart. You can also see the different kinds of charts. So if I wanted to look up different infographic charts, I can make a pictogram of money. I can create a line chart. And then each one of these points I can edit. So instead of item 1, I can say 1 o'clock. And it'll change it right from here. I can edit each of these points on the X and Y axes. I can change the color of the line, and those are your charts. The rest of these down here, you can kind of see it, but the rest of these are part of the apps section. So now that we're on the app section, this is where you'll have your third-party apps that you might not see on Canva directly. So these are semi-supported by Canva, but for the most part, they are made by different people that they upload to Canva, and then Canva approves it. So you have AI generation apps, you have audio and voiceover apps, you have communication apps. You can have a music maker, and it'll tell you what it is. You can open it, and you can actually create your own music. Again, these are third-party apps, so for this one in particular, you have to buy credits for some reason. They do have a translate app, which I used in a previous video, but what you can do is you can upload a video and it will automatically translate it or transcribe it. There's also just a transcribe audio app. There's HeyGen, which is like a AI avatar kind of thing, and you can actually bring your photos to life. So if you have a picture, it'll create a video off of it. There's a QR code generator. And since Canva is so big, there's thousands and thousands of apps that Canva now has in their collection. Most of them don't work perfectly because they're third-party apps, or you have to pay for credits, which is semi-annoying. But some of the better ones you will see on the front screen. And then your app section is the ones that I have used before. Mockups works really well. Like I said before, image upscaler works really well. I tried the QR code generator on here. It works okay, but you have to create an account for it. So you can definitely play around with the apps section yourself to find what works best for you. So that is what Canva's sidebar has to offer, from the design tab to the projects to the apps. If you want to see something specific, or if you want me to expand on something that I might not have talked about as much in detail in here, let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, if you like this video, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. And with that, I'm out. Boop.